Hello, everyone. We're doing more prologues for our as of yet started campaign of the Vampire the Masquerade. Preben is joining, so he needs a prologue. So, as I did with everybody else so far, here's what's going to be happening. So just so that way we can get into the mindset of your character, we went into a little bit about the Giovanni. So you are part of the Giovanni family, whether recent or not. So we're going to start off you being human. So what were you before you became a vampire? Like, what aspect of the family would your character probably be most interested in?
What do you mean aspect of the family?
They have various tasks that, since it's modern day, actually, that's another thing that you needed to choose, is when your vampire was, when your character was turned. So was that like 15 years ago, approximately, or a little earlier?
Well, I thought maybe that as soon as he got turned, he used his new coven power to climb the ladders, and eventually becoming Dawn over a whole district, apparently.
Yes. Yes. So,
So I guess, sure, I guess 15 years.
Okay, that'll work.
I mean, he should be a little bit old, just because, he built a small empire.
Okay.
Can't just do that overnight.
Okay, that's fine.
Oh.
So what I was thinking was, are you a, there's various paths that you could have taken as to increase your likelihood to join the family. Or at least the higher ranks of the family. So you could have been like a computer guy who's good at manipulating stocks. You could have been like a regular mafioso dude who would like beat people up if they didn't pay their money.
That sounds more like me, yeah. I mean, he is strong.
Okay. So
he's not that. He doesn't have anything in computer, so no, he's not that.
Okay.
Well, I guess goon.
Okay. So, walk us through your morning routine. So your character is aware that today is the day that they are, that a high-ranking member in the family, you're not sure who, is going to be visiting your local area, and he's wanting to speak to you personally. So it's a pretty big deal. What is your morning routine like? We're going to go through a day of you being a human, basically.
Like before the guy is coming to visit me, or like the day before, or the same day he's coming to visit me?
It's the same day. Same day.
Okay, and I know he's coming, right?
Yeah, there's apparently you're meeting up at a mansion just outside town, and there's going to be a party. So it's like going to be a formal affair.
Okay, well, he is Italian, so he would have definitely not gotten a shower, but he would have basically bathed in Drakkar Noir. Okay. Just to be able to smell like a fucking gift shop.
Okay.
Just regular Italian stuff.
Yeah, just like a regular Italian.
Just like a normal Italian man. If that one viewer you have is Italian, he's gonna kill me now.
I think that's me.
Oh, good. You're not Italian, are you?
As far as I know, no.
Yeah, he hasn't taken his 23andMe test, or whatever it's called.
Mm-hmm.
Which is the DNA test that's become super popular.
The the click point thingamabob on the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing if you take,
that's not accurate.
yeah, you take or you send in your DNA to them, and then they tell you like what your ancestry is supposed to be and that sort of thing. Anyway, so he's bathed in perfume. Gotcha, or cologne, or whatever word you want to use.
Noir.
Sure.
I think that's
he wishes to do to prepare?
Probably put on his best suit.
All right. You have a couple tuxedos that the family has gifted you, so that way, if you needed to go to a formal affair, then you have a tuxedo that you can wear. Multiple colors too.
Ooh.
So, which color do you want?
What colors are there?
I'll let you choose one. I'll say that they sent you to a tailor to get a tuxedo, and they didn't tell you that you had to get a specific color, so you chose a color, and that is...
I don't know.
Like, you can get red, greens, blues. You can get, like, tuxedos with, like, patterns on them. You can get anything. Because right now, the year is 2002.
I am literally googling mafia. Mafia tuxedo right now.
Okay.
What year are we in, by the way?
2002.
Present day?
2002. Yeah.
The campaign was set in 2017.
Yeah, the campaign is taking place in 2017.
We're definitely not going with, the good old black with white stripes. That's a little bit too old.
Oh.
Yeah, sure. I guess white tux with black shirt and a red tie.
All right.
And of course a hat.
Yeah.
Always need a hat.
You got a couple fedoras, classic style, but you can choose another hat if you want.
I'll just wear a fedora.
Okay. And it's one of the not the cheesy ones that hipsters and stuff wear today. It's more of the classy 50s style fedora. So it's got the wider brim and everything. So, there you go. You have a formal outfit. So, what are you going to do with your day? You can do things before the formal event, or we can just skip to that.
I can't raise the dead yet, right?
No, you're not a vampire, so you don't have the powers yet.
Which means I won't do that.
Yeah,
I don't know if you noticed, but I've not prepared for this at all.
That's fair.
Fair enough.
Not that I've had the time at all.
That's okay. You're a human, so you can do human things. Like, you can go to the store and buy something if you want to bring it to the event, and I'll give you just enough money to get what you need. So, if you want to do something like that, you can buy drugs to bring to a party if you want.
Hello?
Like, you're a human. You can do human things. And I'll say that you have at least enough money to get done what you need to get done.
Just a very quick and very important question.
Mm-hmm.
Can a vampire become a cocaine addict?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, screw it. Let's buy some bloody cocaine.
Alright, you got cocaine.
It went from Italian to British.
You literally...
Oh, yeah, right.
You literally have a brick.
A brick?
Yep. You spent quite a bit of money, but you have a brick that you can bring with you. You can sell it or sell some of it to other people at the party. Or
yeah, I'm going to a small party. I guess I'll just buy a brick of cocaine.
Yeah.
You don't have to snort all of it at once, but you have a brick in your inventory.
God, I love angel dust. Where's floss on this thing? Just gonna write down cocaine addict.
Changes on your sheet. It should be on the top and then merge some floss and just add floss.
You can look up.
Oh my!
you can look up Olaf since you're here. What if there's a specific flaw that pertains to that gives him something?
Oh no, I made a mistake. I wrote in cocaine addict when I was still an image search on Google. Don't do that, ever. That was horrible. False. Add. Name. Cocaine addict. Type. Cocaine addict.
Yeah.
Points! Full. I guess.
Yeah, I'm gonna get Olaf to look that up to see if you get any bonuses or anything from that.
Okay, cool.
Okay,
so I have my smashing outfit. I smell like a store that sells cologne. And I have my cocaine, so I guess I'm ready to party.
Alright. You arrive at the mansion, unless if there was anything else you needed to do before you arrive.
Yeah, sure. Like, one last job. Like, just punch somebody in the face.
Okay. I'll say that they, apparently there's a butcher who hasn't been paying his dues. So, you head to his butcher shop. You walk in, the little bell rings above the door as you enter the door, and he's just sitting there. He's got like a bunch of deli meat in one of those glass cases in front of him, and then he's got like a place where you can sit down because he also makes like pastrami sandwiches, that sort of thing. So that there's little areas where you can sit down if you order something that you want to eat, and he's just sort of standing in front of it.
I'm guessing that this is like one of my regulars, like this is not a new guy.
Yeah, this guy has been late on his payments before. Yes.
Okay, so wherever you order the food, I will just write down my fucking money. I'll just sit and wait.
Okay.
With my brick of cocaine.
Yeah, you have it's hidden under your tux jacket, so it's not like out in the open or anything.
Of course, I'm not an idiot. Of course I have a cocaine brick pocket. Who doesn't have that? I'm not a noob.
I mean, you're a guy who's been in the mafia for a while, so carrying around strange packages isn't foreign to you. So,
fuck guns.
Yeah.
It is a flaw for addiction.
Okay.
But what the penalty is, if he doesn't have it present in his blood, he automatically frenzy.
Ooh. So frenzy means that you just attack people at random, including allies.
Okay, so vampires, human, doesn't matter?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of cool.
I should add a description.
Which brings me to my next question. How expensive is cocaine and how much money will I start with?
You have no resources, so...
Yeah, so you're a poor man.
Even as a mob don?
Yeah, you don't have any you don't actually own any of the stuff. You just run the mob, basically. You don't own any of the stuff. It's technically under subsidiaries from other mob members of companies that they own. You don't actually own any of the buildings.
Well, I guess I'm gonna frenzy a lot.
Yeah, so that's just when you start. So you don't have any money when we start the campaign, which is fine. You
can at least start with a brick of cocaine?
Yeah, you can earn money and get money later on. So don't worry about that.
Well, in that case, I'm not going to sell any of my cocaine to any others. I kind of need it.
Okay. So,
metagaming!
Yeah. So he takes the order sheet. Like, he's, like, helping other people. It's one of those things where it's like a clothesline, and you put your order up on the clothesline.
Yeah, it says my fucking money and a little smiley face.
Okay.
And a heart.
Okay. So he's doing other people's orders, but he eventually does come to yours, and his face just drains of color. And then he looks over and sees you there, and he just slowly starts walking towards the area where you come out from behind the counter, the little door thing.
Mhm.
So he's slowly walking that way. Let's see if you have any stats that would help you with.
Probably not. Well, I do have not a high investigation, but I do have investigation.
Okay, so you can roll your perception plus, let's see. Yeah, you don't have the appropriate ability for what you're trying to do. So, you can roll 1 dice.
What? I can roll 1d10.
Yep. And if you get above 5, then it's considered a success. 5 or above. Okay, so you don't succeed.
He's gonna get a gun, isn't he? Damn it!
He walks over to the little door that allows him to get out from behind the counter. He looks like he's walking a couple steps towards you. He stops slightly, as if he's going to search through his pocket. And then he just turns around and runs out the door.
Oh, I thought he was gonna draw a gun on me.
No.
I was ready to smash his face in with a brick of cocaine, but I guess that didn't happen.
Yeah, this particular portion, you're not going to be doing much dodging or anything. He just ran away.
Okay. He just ran away. Oh well, the poor sod. Is there a gas station nearby?
Yeah. You're in a city, so yes.
Oh, well, in that case, I'll just shake my head. Not another one. And I'll just calmly raise myself, walk outside, walk over to the gas station as I'm humming. And then I'll buy a 10-gallon can of gas and some matches.
Okay. I'll say that you have enough money for now to do that, yeah.
And I'll just walk over and start pouring gasoline all over the whole damn thing inside of his butcher shop.
Okay. You start pouring it all over. And you see that there are still some customers in here, and they're like, huh? And then they just sort of see what you're doing, and they just abruptly get up and leave. Some of them actually take their food with them, and one guy actually reaches behind the glass container before you pour gas all over it, and he takes a couple pieces of pastrami, which is a type of meat.
Oh, the bastards!
And he just runs out of there.
As they're looking at me and running past me, yeah, rats, they're hell to get rid of,
They just sort of stare at you blankly and then leave.
I'll just catch it on fire and then just walk. Or, when I'm outside the store, I'll just toss a couple of matches in.
Okay, that's fair. Yep. The building starts burning down, and you hear some cops get dangerously close. You're still within range of the building. However, you've managed to arrive at your vehicle, and you just pull off. The police haven't gotten close to you yet, so... So, you arrive at the party at that point, then?
Yeah, I guess.
Alright. So, you arrive. There's some really nice classic vehicles here. Like, stuff from the 50s and 60s. In fact, you think you see a Rolls Royce. Like a 1950s Rolls Royce.
Ooh.
Super fancy car. And it's in pristine condition.
That's posh, I guess.
Yep. So, you have your invitation in your pocket, because you need to go to this thing for the story to continue. So you have your invitation. It's one of those formal invitations where they had the envelope with the wax seal on it, And
Ooh.
because this is 2002, so it's still relatively modern. So yeah, this is super fancy. And you cracked the wax seal, and it had like this like handwritten calligraphy invitation inside. No computers used to print that one off. So you walk up to the front of the mansion. There's on the exterior of the mansion, the cars are all parked around this circular driveway, the circular part of the driveway that's around a fountain, and it's like an obtuse fountain with like cherubs on it and everything. So you approach the mansion. You're at the front door. There's a dude who looks like he's out of a 1950s gangster movie. He has like the white shirt on with the suspenders with the little gun holster on the side that has a pistol in it. Yeah,
Does he look old?
He's maybe in his 50s or 60s. He's got like a little bit of gray hair. It's cut short.
Do I know this man?
No, you don't recognize this guy.
Well, in that case, I won't say anything.
He just looks at you and he goes, "Hey, buddy, you got your invitation?"
I thought I already handed it out.
Oh, do you give it to him? Okay, he gives it. He takes it. He looks
Oh,
at
so
it.
he's the. Oh, I thought I already went through the.
No. This is the place.
Can I try like make it appear like in my fingers like a little card trick? Like.
Sure, you have it in your sleeve, and you just sort of flip your hand in such a way where he can't see it, that it was in your sleeve, and it just appears in your hand. And he goes,
I don't have to roll anything?
"Nope, not for this. Not for this one." And he goes, "Hey, you think you're funny?" That's what he says. Just hand over the invitation.
Didn't I just do that?
Yeah, but you made it appear in your hand, is the point we're at.
I make it appear in my hand and I hand it over to the guy.
Okay. So he takes it and he goes, "Another jester, hey, Frankie?" And you hear a voice on the upper balcony above the door. "Yeah!" And he opens the invitation. "All right, man. Luigi. That's your real name." And he passes it back to you. "Head on in."
I walk in.
All right.
Silent as ever. Silent as a grave.
Okay. You walk inside. You're inside. It's a really expensive and ritzy looking building inside. On the outside, it looked kind of like darker and more drab, but inside it's more ritzy and expensive looking. They got like the crystalline chandeliers on the ceilings. They got the gold banisters, probably gold plated, not pure gold. And the stairs are made of marble, all that stuff. A whole 9 yards. They even have, like, as soon as you walk in, there's like this little table with like a pitcher of water on it, like those like rich people have. So you walk inside. There appears to be a party happening. Everybody's dressed up formally. There's men, women, perhaps some in-betweens, you don't know, who are in this room, but there's about 50 people just in this room. Waiters, waiting staff, all of the whole 9 yards. What do you wish to do? You can continue through the mansion to just head towards the place that you were told to go, or you can hang out in the party for a bit.
I guess I'll just at least get a glass of champagne.
Alright.
Champagne.
You see one of the waiters going by with, like, those super fancy, like, wine champagne type glasses on a tray. He's just walking by. He has, like, 6 or 7 of them full of champagne. You just walk over and grab one. So you have one.
Awesome. I'll just neatly sip from it as I try to get to my destination.
Okay. You walk straight towards the place where you were told to go. There's basically the room that you've entered is just like a huge ballroom type room, and it has stairs that go up to a second floor, but you were told to go to the doors that were beneath the stairs on the first floor. So you were just told to walk straight through from the entrance to the other side of the room. So that's what you do. However, there are 2 finely dressed Italian guards standing there. They're wearing the fancy tuxedos. They have the little earpiece in their ear. And one of them goes, "Hey, we're expecting somebody in particular. Are you him?" And
I'll just
you remember that your invitation has a little section on it that acts like a security badge, basically, that allows you into specific areas.
I'll just nod for now, see if that's enough.
He looks at the other guy and he goes, "Produce proof." So,
I guess I'll just give them the invitation.
Okay.
Well, maybe I can try and just stealth past them.
You can.
Here's stealth.
You can try, but you'll have to, like, go back into the party area and then try to sneak in. You can do that, though, because they're looking directly at you, because you walked up to the door.
I guess I'll just give them the fucking invitation.
Okay. You give him the invitation, and he looks at it, and he goes, "All right." And he hands it back to you, and he opens the door behind him and lets you through. So you can go through, if you wish.
I go through.
Okay. So you walk through. On the other side of the door is this very ostentatious, if you're familiar with that word. It's just like expensive looking office.
Okay.
Um,
Sounded like a very expensive word.
Yeah, it is. Cost me $20 just to use it that one time. Yeah.
We really need to get that Patreon page up, dude.
Okay, so, yeah, it's got oak wood paneling on the walls. He's got, like, a mahogany desk in the middle of the room. He's got, like, a couple, like, bust statues on pedestals on the sides of the room. They look very... they look very particular. Almost as if they're part of the same family or lineage. They look relatively similar to how you look, but not entirely the same. You see a man, he's got one of those really high-backed office chairs made of leather chair.
Ooh.
And it's turned back to you. The walls are also lined with bookshelves that have various tomes on them. None of them have like a title on the binding or anything. They're just books. So you walk forward up to the desk, I assume. But he hasn't turned around yet.
Well, of course, guessing he's going to turn around stroking a white cat. Ah, Mr. Luigi, I've been expecting you. We meet again, Mr. Luigi. No, we're actually never met. What?
Do you wait for him to turn around, or do you say something?
I guess I'll just make my presence clear by doing a little.
Okay. You hear something move on the other side of the chair, and then and you hear some glass clink, or perhaps crystal, and you hear something get placed on the shelf on the other side of the chair from you. He turns around, and he looks at you, and he goes, "Oh, hello, Luigi." And it's an older gentleman.
I'm already regretting my name.
It's an older guy. He's got like gray to white hair. He looks kind of like your character probably would have watched the Godfather series. He looks like a character that's just right out of that series. And he kind of sounds like one too.
Does it look like the guy that gets the horse head, or the guy that gives the horse's head?
He looks slightly older than any of those guys, actually.
Okay.
And he goes, "So, you have come based on my invitation, I see."
Of course, I have been summoned.
Of course. You're a very loyal family member, and I like that about you. Or at least, that's what I've heard.
I'll just nod in appreciation.
He goes, "Heard about your exploit today. Good job. You can't have people not paying." As he stands up and he starts to walk towards you.
Well, with most of the guys, they usually get 3 strikes. With me, they only get 2. Problem is, they don't know about it.
Alright. Good rule. Although, we could have used you not getting seen by the cops as you were walking away, but it seems like you're not on the suspect list. Strangely enough, as he winks at you. Just cost us a little bit of money, that's all.
Oh, sorry about that. Didn't want to run and ruin my new tux.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Alright, so, about why you're here. You are to be inducted into the family. Nobody really knows the extent of what we're going to be doing here tonight. As he walks over, you still have your champagne glass, by the way, but he walks over to this crystalline, I forget the word, decanter is the word. It's like a thing that holds like rum or some other fancy liquid.
I'll just put my glass immediately down on whatever table's the closest and just give me that.
He's got two crystal glasses in front of him, like the shot glass size type things, and he fills them both about 50% up, and then he hands you one.
Could I bother you for some rocks, please?
He walks over. He walks over. There's a little containment area underneath the thing that he was just grabbing the decanter from, and he just takes a shovel, a little tiny shovel thing, and he just shoves it in. It has ice in it. He just dumps it into your thing, puts it back, closes the thing, and then he hands it to you.
Much appreciated.
I heard your constitution was a bit better than that, but perhaps the rumors were wrong.
Just like a cold drink. That's all.
Fair.
Is my constitution good? I don't know.
It's based on your stamina, which is 1.
Which is 1, so yeah,
even
it's pretty damn bad.
It's 1. Yeah, even as a vampire, it's 1, so...
Oh yeah, so I get drunk like super fast?
Relatively, yeah.
Awesome.
And he goes, "So, We're here to perform some rituals, old world type rituals. Nothing to worry about. However, we put this party on for you, so you may as well enjoy it. Unless if you're not the type. So he's saying that the party's for you.
That's odd. Did not expect that.
He goes,
I'll just be quiet and take a sip, I guess.
He goes, it's a monumentous occasion to have somebody join our family. So, would you like to join me on the upper staircase so that way I can introduce you to the family?
Of course.
Yeah, so far you've just had, maybe a dude who was telling you what to do and where to go and when. And your mother and father probably were part of it as well. Though, whether they're alive or not right now is up to you. But, most of the other characters didn't really care about family or whatnot, so that's up to you.
Well, in that case, they're dead. My mom was Italian, my dad was a British man.
Okay. And they had you in England, it sounds like, for a little while. Probably. But either way.
I'm terrible at British accent, but I'm even worse when it comes to Italiano.
Fair enough. That's fine. Like I said, the Giovanni family spread all over the world, so you're not the only British Giovanni family member. So,
Part British.
Some of them are even Dutch, I hear.
Apparently.
Yeah, his name is Quant, I think.
Yeah, you don't even have to have the Giovanni last name to be part of the Giovanni family, but either way. He leads you out the door, if you're willing to go with him. He's going to introduce you to everybody. Okay. So he leads you up the staircase. There's a couple ladies that appear to be gossiping. One of them's going, "Oh, you haven't heard anything!" And the other lady goes, "What the hell are you talking about?" And they just talk as you continue past. Apparently they're sharing some gossip.
Ooh.
However, you get to the top of the staircase. This older gentleman, he taps on the side of his crystalline glass with a spoon that he picked up from a nearby table. Ding, 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 ding. Everybody looks up at you guys. He puts the spoon down. And he goes, "Hello, everyone. I would like to introduce you to our newest brother, Luigi." As he motions to you, everybody claps. Although, I'll get you to roll a perception.
I just see the regret of the name in his face.
Actually, you can roll an alertness, which gives you 4 dice. You can roll 4 dice.
How? Weird. Where do I see all this? There.
On your sheet,
no,
you have alertness, which has 3, and you have perception, which has 1. So that's 4.
Okay. Oh yeah, right. I thought that was like initiative. So I have 3 d10s now.
You have 4. You can roll 4 d10 right now.
Sure. I'll roll 4 d10.
Ooh, 3 successes and a critical.
Send your command in your chat if you want to use that.
Where?
In your private Discord.
Yeah, they've come up with a command that you can type in to more easily.
Just change the 1 with how many dice you roll.
Yeah. Okay. Well, this is fine. What you've rolled.
Yeah, well, rolling dice. 1 success! Ahoy!
See, it just they came up with a thing so that way it says how many successes you got. That's all.
You can change that 1 from the D10 to 4 if you want to roll 4.
Nah,
Yeah.
I already rolled.
Okay.
So what do I see? What do I spy with my little eye?
You see that there are a couple of people who are not very happy, including
Cool.
one lady who has been she's been performing a tech job for the family, and she was hoping to get recognized tonight instead of you. You know that. But there are a couple of others who are also looking at you, staring daggers. They're not clapping at all.
Guess they're the first to die then. Oh, what a shame. Oh!
Yeah, it seems like the reason that she got passed over and you didn't is simply because of one incident where she lost the family about $1 million because she bet on the wrong company stock.
That is a big boo-boo.
Yeah. So, just because of that one, she made like a bunch of other millions of dollars before that, but since she made that one mistake and you didn't make many mistakes before this choosing, she got passed over and you didn't. So, the older gentleman goes, "So, would you like to have a word in front of everybody, or..." As he looks at you.
In character, he probably would have had some kind of small speech, but out of character, fuck no.
Okay.
I've got nothing, dude.
Just
I'll
give me
just sit there and
the...
speak for 5 minutes.
That's okay. That's okay. You don't have to speak. Just give me the general gist of what you wanted to say.
You know what? I'm actually just gonna be very simple, just like that guy that gets a lot of Oscars. He just goes like, "Thank you," and then he sits back down. So I'll just go like that.
Alright. He goes, so I'll modify it slightly. You just say, "Thank you for the honor," and then you bow slightly towards everybody in the crowd, just so that way you can be a little theatrical about it. And then everybody just claps. Seems like they recognize that, yeah, he just doesn't have much to say right now.
I'm a man of few words.
He nods as he looks at you, and he goes, "That's fine. We don't need all great speakers here. We need other people as well. Other skill sets." So, he says, "The ritual isn't going to be taking place until 10 o'clock, which is currently 7 o'clock. And he goes, "Enjoy yourself." And he starts to walk down the steps.
Guess I'll immediately head into the bathroom and take a victory snort.
Okay. You head into the washroom. I'll roll something. Why not? So I'm just gonna copy that. I'm gonna do a similar thing that I do in, whoops, it's not working for some reason. I'm gonna do a similar thing that I do in Shadowrun.
Need command or...
No, I just am modifying the command, is what I'm doing. Okay, that should work. If it doesn't work, I'll just...
So there's nothing in the sheet that makes me like able to just, just click strength and it'll roll?
No.
Yeah, you have to go to the section of the sheet clicking dice, and then you have to go from there.
You have to add them manually.
Yeah.
Wow. That's stupid.
It's strange, yes, for sure. Okay. Let's see if this will work. It did work.
Success.
Okay. So here's what happens. You walk into the washroom. It's like a washroom of somebody's house, but it has multiple stalls in it still, for some reason. So it's not like a gendered bathroom, is the point that I was trying to make. And you see a woman walk out of one of the stalls. She's wearing just a plain black dress. Her hair is about shoulder length, black. She's very pale, and she walks over to you, or next to you, because she's going to the sink that you're using as a rest point for your drugs. And she goes, must be a tough evening.
Well, when you get as much as me done and quick, there.
You don't have to have the accent. It's fine.
Yeah, you don't.
It'll get better. It'll get better.
Okay.
Don't worry. I'm usually used to speaking British.
You're tired, probably. That's most.
I'm super fucking tired.
Yeah, that also probably didn't help.
Can't you see my eyes, man? They're
Yeah.
fucking red.
But go ahead.
I'll just tell her that this is basically how I gotten this much shit done in such a short time span.
Okay.
My trick is not sleeping. And this helps.
She
That's
goes.
both true in and out of character.
She goes.
Well, except for the fucking cocaine.
Yeah.
Except that part.
Yeah,
Wouldn't even touch that shit with a 10-foot pole.
She goes, well, that's not exactly healthy. Although no
What?
judgment.
It was supposed to be just for a short timeline, but then it kind of got out of hand.
She goes, fair enough. So you're the
I'll
new...
just like gesture if she wants some.
She goes,
You have a brick of it.
yeah, she goes, not at the moment. Though, you're the new brother, I hear.
Yes, I'll just reach out my hand and I guess I'll do the super novel one. You know, if she gives me her hand, I'll just bow down and kiss it and say my name.
She does offer her hand.
Ooh, then I do that.
Buongiorno, amore. No, that's good morning, love, or something.
I have no fucking idea.
I know some Italian, but not much.
I literally know none.
Okay. Well, she accepts the kiss on the hand.
Does her hand feel super cold?
Yes, oddly.
Fucking do it.
Perhaps it's just that she used cold water on her hands. You're not sure.
Well, did she wash her hands before I kissed? But
Yes. Yes.
okay.
She wouldn't have let you do that without it.
Okay.
At least this particular character wouldn't have.
Maybe another one would.
Yeah.
So she's not like one of those you would not want to go in there.
Yeah, you know, just no.
So she allows you, and she goes, so how are you related to everybody? And all she's expecting is like your mother was part of the family, probably.
So I'll just tell her that my mom was in the Giovanni, my dad was not, but my dad was an asshole and left, so my mom raised me by herself in England, I guess.
Okay. She goes, interesting backstory. Well, hopefully you will see our secrets tonight. Considering I am a sister, perhaps I'll be there. As she just sort of elegantly walks out of the washroom.
As she says the sister thing, I kind of half like this. Well, no, I kind of feel weird for kissing her hand.
Well, It's just what they call each other. Brothers and sisters of the family. Like, it doesn't matter how old you are, if you're considered a brother or sister.
Kinda still ruins the mood.
I just kissed my sister. What the
Yeah.
Well, you've never met this woman before, so you never know. She could be your biological sister for all you know.
Maybe she is.
Maybe.
Bad story twist.
What a twist!
But the Giovanni family was a large family even in the Middle Ages, so it's not like you're that closely related, if at all. If, like, not, you might not even be as related to her as you would be, like, someone who is not considered part of the Giovanni family. So, you don't know. Either way. So that happens. You, quote-unquote, freshen up. No one enters the bathroom as you continue freshening up, quote-unquote.
What was her name, by the way?
She didn't give it to you, but you could have asked her before she left.
Yeah, I would have asked.
Okay. Her name's Rosanna.
Rosanna. Rosanna.
Yeah, and in this game system, keeping track of NPCs is even more important than other game systems.
Rosanna.
Because
Bathroom.
yeah, because depending on your certain relationships with certain characters, it can affect your alliances with certain factions and things of that nature. So keeping
How do you
track
write
of
chick?
okay.
C-H-I-C-K.
What?
C-H-I-C-K.
Seco. Yeah, well, isn't it like super important to keep track, like, no matter what role-playing game you do?
Yes, but in this one it is.
But some are more important than others.
Yeah, this one is even more important. Because if I tell you, like, a person's name, and you, like, oh, well, I don't remember that person, and you just, like, attack them, then your alliance with a particular faction may be affected by that. So it is important.
Well, she's down.
Okay.
Bathroom chick.
Alright. Well, she knows your name, because you were introduced to everybody, so... Yeah, so you walk out of the washroom, you have 3 hours, of which, or 3 hours and 2 hours and 40 minutes that you can choose to do with whatever you wish. Yeah, you took 20 minutes in the washroom, apparently.
Sick.
Damn. That was
your record.
That was a long victory snort.
That was a big douche.
How much do I have left of my...
Well, it's not that the whole time you were snorting. It's if you're familiar at all with media that uses people who have cocaine addictions in it. You, like, laid there just going for a little while.
Oh, that's a good shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I guess I'll just walk around drinking and making small talk, I guess. Maybe just give up entirely on small talk and just sit beside Rosanna.
Alright,
I don't know.
She is sitting at a table that has some other important looking people sitting at it, including that woman who got shafted because she wasted that $1 million.
In that case, I'm definitely gonna sit over there.
There is a space available next to Rosanna, and there is a space available next to that other woman. This other woman, she's named... Googly moogly. I had a name on the tip of my tongue, but I forgot it.
Giorno Giovanni.
Here we go. Genevieve. That'll work.
Wow, that was a name. How the hell do you spell that?
I'll throw it in the chat.
Yeah, just
Probably like that.
And that was the name that I had on the tip of my tongue, too. Or at least a name close to it.
Wow, you were right on the money there, Olaf.
Hell yeah. Damn, I'm good.
I'm just gonna put her down for nerd. For now.
Shafted chick. There's something wrong.
Shafted chick. Don't Google that, kids. You don't want to know.
No, you don't.
Yeah, so she's just staring daggers at you. Do you choose to sit next to her, or do you choose to sit next to Rosanna?
I guess I'll just. Is she like? If I sit next to Rosanna, is she like right, like in front of me?
Like, it's a circular table, so she's directly beside you, on the edge of the circle.
Okay, I'll sit beside Rosanna then.
Okay. So you sit next to her. There's another dude. This dude, he's black, and he's like huge. That's the guy who is flanking you on your left. And Rosanna's on your right. He's like he's huge. He's like if Arnold Schwarzenegger took even more steroids, then he would look like this guy. Similar.
Okay, so he has a huge body and a super small head.
Slightly, yes, actually.
Awesome. So he's more buff than me, because I'm pretty damn buff.
Yeah, for character's sake, he probably has like a 4 or 5 in his strength.
Okay. I see Geo has appeared.
Hello.
He has been summoned.
Yeah, we're just getting into his Giovanni introduction.
Good to have a Giovanni here now.
Yeah. Somebody that can have complete control over the situation, and if Matt does something wrong, no, that's not how we do it in my family.
Yep. How dare you?
How dare you desecrate my name like that?
Do I need to get the horse head?
Okay, so
we have 3 strength, right?
I'll just make small talk. Like as soon as I sit down, I'll just to Rosanna, just funny.
Okay, I'll give you a picture of how strong you are, Preben. At 3 strength, you can lift a little over 100 kilos.
Seriously, that's it?
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty bad.
That's disappointing, yeah.
Yeah.
But if you have a 1, like some characters who are going to be joining you.
Oh, shut up.
You'd just be able to barely lift the laptop.
No, 20 kilos if you have 1 strength.
So, if it's an old laptop. Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
So, you sit down and you're talking...
300, though.
You sit down and you're talking to Roseanne.
I'm not talking to her. Like, as I sit down, I'll just be, like, funny bumping into you again.
She goes, yeah, weird. It's almost as if we're at the same party.
It's quite strange. And then I'll immediately just look over to Genevieve. Am I pronouncing that right?
Yep.
Genevieve? You don't really like me, do you?
Yeah, she's just been, like... having this, she's just been staring daggers at you the entire time since you sat down.
Oh no! Oh fuck! No, I'm not gonna say that. I'm just gonna like look at her and start like smiling a little bit. You coming on to me there, dear?
He's British Italian, Joe. He's British Italian.
Like looks away from you and starts talking to that black that black dude that I mentioned.
I'll just turn to Rosanna and say, I don't think she likes me that much.
She goes, well, she was passed over.
You know, lose $1 million, that kind of tends to happen.
Yeah, that was pretty disappointing. She was very promising. Either way, so I'm not gonna give you, like, all these NPC names, but,
Damn it.
she starts introducing you to some of the people around the table, including that black dude that I mentioned, and he's apparently one of the brothers as well. And it seems everybody
as I shake hands, yeah.
Oh, I was just gonna say that, it seems like everybody that's at this table except Genevieve is either a brother or a sister.
Okay. I thought everybody in the room was a brother and sister.
No.
Okay. As I shake their hands, like, mainly the brothers and sisters, are all their hands cold?
Yeah, you do notice that they're slightly colder than the air in the room.
Hashtag metagaming.
It does set off a weird flag in the back of your mind, but since you're still human and you don't know anything about vampires existing yet, it doesn't bother you. But they all seem to have this weird same coldness to their hand. So
Okay, so I guess we'll just move on.
Okay, do you want to skip the rest of the 3 hours? To the ceremony?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I would have talked a bit to the big guy, maybe.
Okay, his name is Rodriguez.
Rodriguez.
And since Olaf guessed perfectly with the previous name, I'll let him do this one.
Do your thing, boy. Then you can just write buff AF, dude.
Yeah, and
All in cap.
yeah, so the point of me introducing him as a black man is to show that all races are part of the family. Not just Italian people. So, yeah, so, you, Rodriguez, and, Roseanne, get into quite a in-depth conversation about how important it is to remain loyal to the family. And different things that not only you, but they have had to do to prove their loyalty. And just for one notable thing for each of them, Roseanne apparently had to screw a guy in order to keep up a cover that
Nice.
so that way she could steal his money. Apparently he wasn't paying his dues, and he ordered an escort, and that was the cover that she used, so she had to, in order to get to the place where his money was being held. It was being held in like a secure safe.
Oh, you poor thing. Was he any good?
Not really. Kind of sweaty.
That's even more disappointing.
The room was cold, but he just wouldn't stop sweating.
That's rather disappointing, isn't it? I'll just look over to Rodriguez.
She describes it as humping a wet hot dog.
I'm just gonna put a little F behind Rosanna there for
F and chef Rosanna.
No, F for favorite.
So you turn over to Rodriguez, and he says that he was robbing a house, and he had to. There was a kid that saw him, and it was just about to run away to warn some people, so he had to kill the kid. And he has like a big deep voice, so he's like, yeah, just had to walk over and snap the kid's neck. Not proud of it, but if I got caught, then the family would have been notified, and it would have been a thing. Like, not like a teenager or anything either. Like a 4 or 5 year old.
A small child.
Yeah.
There's only one worse thing than a rapist. A child.
What about a child rapist?
Child.
A rapist that is a child.
Oh shit.
That sounds terrifying.
Vampires are older than they look now.
Yeah, maybe. You don't know. I actually have plans for a character that is going to be amusing for this. But either way. So those are the two big notable things that they won for each that they had.
Willing to literally do everything. Even fuck hot dogs. Damn.
Apparently.
Is Genevieve pitching anything? Or is she just sitting there quietly,
just
angry?
You guys are at the same table, but it's sort of like a private conversation that the three of you are having at this table. Like, she's talking to a different person at that point in the conversation that's also sitting at the table.
Does she still seem mad?
Yeah, every time she glances over at you, yeah. She just, like, has that furrowed brow look.
I don't get it.
You do.
She's been around me for 3 hours and you don't love me yet. How's that even possible?
But yeah, you overhear her conversation. It just seems like she's ass-kissing, mostly. So it seems like she knows that these people are brothers and sisters, and she's trying to get in good with them.
You're like so funny.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm.
Yeah, the like type laugh.
Oh jeez.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah.
So after the 3 hours pass, a huge amount of people in this room are like either left because they've gotten drunk and had to leave, or were told to leave because they were being belligerent, or they're just passed out in this room.
Cool.
There are a few people who are still like having those artsy-fartsy type conversations that are still awake, but otherwise, anybody who's drank pretty much any amount of alcohol at this point is passed out.
Awesome.
Or left. So, the only people who are awake are a few artsy-fartsy guys in the corner, which you can choose to interact with before you go to your ritual. Or you can, the people who are at your table. Those are the only other people who are currently awake in this room, other than the guards. Like, the guards.
Fuck no, I'm gonna stay with Rosanna and Rodriguez!
Yeah, Rodriguez.
It's a pretty cool. Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Bender bending Rodriguez.
Yep. So, Genevieve, is still in the conversation when you see the older gentleman approach. And he just walks up and, like, whispers in your ear. Like, he has his hands on your shoulders and he just whispers in one of your ears. It's time for the ritual. And he walks back to that room.
I'll just nod and get up and follow the guy, I guess.
Right, as you get up...
He wanted me to follow me, right?
Yeah, he wanted you to go with him. Yes. The Rodriguez and Roseanne follow behind you. I'll get you to roll... Yeah, perception alertness.
Alertness.
Yeah, so 4. Because you have
So
1
4 again?
perception. Yeah. 4 perception and 3 alertness.
It's 3 successes. Again.
Okay.
Again with a critical 10.
As you're
or
about
whatever.
to enter that office, you notice that Genevieve, like, slightly begins darting towards the door as you begin to close the door. So
What, the door I'm walking in?
Yeah. She starts running towards the door. But she's in high heels and, like, one of those tight dresses that limits your range of motion with your legs. So she's, like, trying to move
Like
quickly, but she can't.
Like literally trying to run into the door that I'm on my way to?
Like, you've opened the door and you're going inside, and as you turned around to close the door behind you, you see that she's running towards the door.
How big is the door?
It's one of those double doors, so it's not that big. It's maybe like 2 meters from one side to the other, and from the top it's like 3 meters tall.
So I'll literally just turn around and like hold my hands on each side of the door and just like slantly. And as soon as she's close enough, I'm like, then push it, love. And I'll just close the door.
Okay. You actually see her take out what looks like a metal strip of some sort, and she tries to insert it into the door to prevent it from closing properly, it looks like. Do you allow
Okay,
her to do this? You gain the advantage there, so you can
No.
prevent this if you want. So you don't.
She's not allowed in yet.
Okay. So you close the door before she can get
Yeah.
the thing in. And you hear on the other side of the door, ah, shit. Okay, so you walk into the room.
Yeah.
You see in this room, and remember, the old guy said that these rituals are tradition and kind of archaic. But, even still, you walk into this room. Apparently he has set up in one of the more empty parts of the room. He has set up a wooden cross. And it appears to have, like, wooden restraints on it for someone to have, like, their hands bound to the cross. And it has this weird, like, bowl-type structure underneath the cross.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty metal looking. Like,
what do you call the schools in America that is not paid for?
private
Community
schools?
college?
No,
Community
not
college,
paid
no.
for.
University?
No, not paid for. Like the
Public?
schools. Yeah, public
Oh,
schooling.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so the schools you don't have to pay for. I misunderstood
Yeah.
what you said.
Yeah.
Yeah, public
So
schools.
as soon as I see the big ass cross, I'm just like, huh, this rather reminds me of public school.
Rosanna goes, really? You'll have to tell me that story sometime.
Oh, they're total asses.
She nods as if she has a little bit of understanding of what you mean. However, the older guy, he says, it may seem strange that we ask you to do this, but we will have to get you to get on the cross.
Can I say all
Rosette-
the flags go up at that point?
Yeah, it's Rosanna is there, right?
Yeah, she's like, this isn't a strange thing at all in her expression. Same with Rodriguez. As if they know what's happening and this is what's going to happen if you want to be a brother.
So as soon as he says that I have to like get on the cross, I'll like just look at Rosanna. Well, oh my, have I been a bad boy?
She goes, yes, and You're getting your just reward. As she motions towards the cross again.
That sounds rather exciting and lovely. I'll just get straight into the cross.
Alright, so there's like wooden restraints that go around your wrist. Rosanna walks forward and fastens your restraints. There's even ankle restraints on the bottom that they put on you. And
So
Okay,
she's putting on my restraints. I'm just like, so what kind of safe words are we using? I usually prefer banana. That's easy to remember, right?
She goes, what if that's what I wish to use? As she looks at you, coyly.
I'll just start to laugh a little bit and smile.
Alright. She does up your restraints. You see the older guy come forward. He has one of those classic, barber razors in his hand. And he walks forward. And he says... He turns to Rodriguez and Rosanna. And he says... Well, it seems as though you've got my orders. And they both nod. And he goes... He looks at you. And he goes... So which one of these two, or if you would rather me, would you rather perform the ritual? This is going to determine your sire.
I think I know who he picks.
Sire?
Yeah, this is...
The one that turns you to a vampire.
Yeah.
So what's a sire?
Your boss.
That is literally
Your
what
creator.
What it turned you, yeah.
My boss.
It's basically going to be the person who turns you into a vampire, because they're all vampires in this room. All three of these people.
I'll just look at them all and oh my, I feel like a kid in a candy store.
Rosanna
Such a good British accent, you know?
Well,
Yeah.
I think you all know who I'm gonna pick. I'm just gonna look at Rosanna.
Alright. He passes her the razor blade. She takes it from him.
Oh, this is going to be painful.
Few
Yeah.
sessions later, your
Since-
Rosanna
since-
gets stolen by Marcus.
Yeah, since the Giovanni have cause pain when they bite people, to turn you into a vampire, they're not going to bite you. They just need your blood to be drained. So, that's what the razor blade's for. So, since you're restrained, she takes out the razor blade, she folds it out so that way the blade is facing away from her. And she walks forward.
I guess I start to look a little bit nervous.
And-
that's not a banana.
She goes, I'm well aware. As she walks up to one of your hands, holds it firm to the cross, and looks like she's going to slice through one of your wrists. Do you allow her to? You can,
Well,
in theory, resist this.
Nah.
You have to
I
break
trust
the
her.
restraints, but you could resist
Yeah,
this.
that's not happening.
Alright. She slices
So what,
down.
you're breaking through the states, or... Oh.
No,
I mean, he's not an idiot. I mean, people have been brothers and sisters, and they're still alive. So maybe he thinks it's just a few drops instead of everything.
Wise, you're an idiot. But
She slices through your wrist.
I have
deep enough
wits.
that you see bone.
I have 3.
Oh.
I'm a fucking genius.
But either way,
That's
she slices
gold,
through
though,
your wrist so far into your wrist that you can see bone exposed, and there's just blood leaking out from your wrist. She walks over to the other wrist. You can now still resist if you wish.
I'll just kind of look her in the eyes, and so I guess this is a point where I completely trust you, right?
Yes, prove your loyalty. As she walks over to your other wrist.
Get on with it then.
As she walks over to your other hand, slices down to the bone again. And you can see that the cross has like these little wooden divots that are catching the blood from your wrist and funneling them into this bowl that's it looks kind of like a fountain, like a thing that water would go into in a fountain. But your blood is draining into this bowl underneath. And you start feeling lightheaded, almost as if you're going to fall unconscious. What do you do, if anything?
I try my best to stay awake, but nothing else.
Okay. You try to remain conscious as much as you can. I'll get you to roll a stamina. If you only have one.
Whoa!
Did you get a success? Oh, you got a
I
critical.
got a critical to success.
Wow. Okay, so here's,
Yeah, wow.
I'm immortal, bitch!
here's what happens. You
Go
see
ahead,
that there's
fuck.
like maybe 4 or 5 pints of blood have escaped your body, but you're still conscious somehow.
Are the others seeing that I'm conscious? Like, are they, like, a little bit
They're
impressed?
just sort of like it. If they were wearing like cultist robes, you would think that they're just like standing there motionlessly waiting for you in the same position that you would imagine a cultist would be standing. And they're just staring at you, waiting. You don't know why they're waiting or what they're waiting for. But you're
So,
conscious,
can
so
I-
you can try to say something if you want.
Okay. Sorry if it takes a bit longer than usual, I guess.
They, Roseanne goes, "Don't worry. It will happen." And you hear the older gentleman say, "Welcome to the Brotherhood." As you,
And then I pass out.
yeah, I'll say that you could just keep rolling like critical successes.
No, I want to pass out. It's a good moment to pass out.
And you pass out. You awaken. You're laying in like you're just laying. Actually, you're in the leather chair that you saw the guy in earlier.
The big
As
boss
you
chair?
awaken, yeah.
Huh. I immediately take a look at my wrists.
Your wrists don't even have a scar on them.
I kind of just like pat my cocaine
You still
pouch to
have
see
your
if I
cocaine.
was an idiot and snorted it all, that it was just my imagination.
You still have your cocaine. Or at least
Yes.
as much as you had left after you used them. You still have
I
that.
guess what, Gio? He's
cocaine.
addicted to cocaine.
Yeah, his character's going to be addicted to cocaine.
Oh dear God.
He took the addiction flaw. He found it. Well, I found it.
He found it.
Oh dear God.
Matt said you can buy drugs. I'm like, hell yeah!
Yeah, I was
And
like,
we're
And it was.
this is-
I thought it would be like a little baggie. No, I apparently bought a whole fucking brick.
It also would give you 3 freebie points to spend on whatever the fuck you want. So,
Like on whatever I want.
yeah. But the
Which means
cost
I can-
varies.
Buff up my strength to max.
No.
unfortunately,
level
you
up.
can't. Because you don't have enough points. 3 isn't enough.
Oh yeah, that was like 5 points.
Yeah.
For attributes.
On what pages was that thing costing on?
Crap.
Either way, I'll continue a little bit with the story.
Mhm.
Yeah, you awaken. You're sitting in the big boss chair. Your wrists are fine, not even a scar. And you check. You got your cocaine.
Oh, thank God.
The next thing that you notice is that there's a decanter in front of you that has a red liquid in it.
Do I smell something good?
As you pop the top off the decanter and you sniff inside, smells coppery, not very tasty, although for some reason you feel very hungry. And this hunger is telling you, yes, this is a thing I want.
How much is it?
It's like this, you know
Like a
how they
liter?
have in the cartoons, like the little demon and the little angel on your shoulders? This definitely feels like a demon whispering to you, yeah, drink this thing.
You need this.
Yeah.
So how much is it? How big is it? Like a liter? 2 liters?
The decanter's pretty much full. Yeah, I'll say it's about, I'll say a liter and a half.
Well, I'm gonna give in to my inner demons and just chug the damn thing.
Alright, you drink from it. It has this weird note of mint. But you drink it, and otherwise it just tastes like mint mixed with coffee.
Coffee?
Coffee mint.
Minted coffee.
Yep, that's kind of what it tastes like, yeah.
That's a weird wine. I guess.
I have one thing you could use those points for. But you can continue the story thing. Tell that later.
Okay. So, yeah, you drink that. Tasted weird, but... And it was kind of thick, too. Strangely.
Ugh.
But it wasn't, like, putrid, so it's not like...
Must have gone bad.
It wasn't putrid or anything.
I'm just gonna chalk it up to that it was almost going bad, so I did the guy a favor by getting rid of it.
Alright. So you're staring at the back of his office. You can turn the chair around to look at the rest of the office if you want.
I do.
Alright, you turn around. You see 3 people similarly shaped to the people that you saw before. Except they are now wearing the weird robes. And they are bent down towards the bottom of the cross, and they are like using their hands to get into the liquid. And it is red and thick. So you assume it might not have been a dream that you just had.
Huh. So I'm just turning around with a big ass 1.5 liter glass bottle or whatever it's called.
Decanter, yeah.
I'm gonna be like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You see this happening. Yeah, you can see like their hands are dripping with the red liquid coming out of it, and they're like licking their hands, things of that nature. Or sometimes they like pool up the liquid in their hands and they're like drinking it that way.
And I thought the Sabbath was fucked up. I guess Giovanni's worse.
Nah. They're
equal.
Well, the Sabbat's a little worse, actually. When it comes to that stuff. Because the rituals don't actually do anything, where the Giovanni rituals do. All their rituals do things. So.
Okay, so I guess I'm just gonna sit there dumbfounded.
Alright.
Until they do anything else by guessing I'm smart enough to know that that might be my blood.
Yeah, you're... Even if you were the dumbest character that you could make in the game, you would probably still be able to connect the dots. You were on that thing, your blood was drained, and if that actually happened, then, and that's still the same liquid, then yes, it's the blood that was drained.
Well, I still don't know what's going on, so I guess I'll just sit there dumbfounded until they're done with whatever they're doing.
Okay. They actually go on for an uncomfortably long amount of time before they stand up. They each walk over to one of the stone pedestals that has the busts on it that I described before. And they each place one of their blood-covered hands on the pedestal, and each one of them glows slightly, and you hear a noise, and then the glowing stops, and that was it. You don't know what that did. But then one of them turns towards you, the bigger, taller one of the group.
I'm still holding the 1 liter bottle, by the way.
Yeah. You're just sort of like frozen with your mouth agape. The bigger, taller one of the three walks forward or sees you, and then he goes, guys, he's looking this way. And the other two just sort of like glance over towards you. And
I would have gone with a look like, huh?
Nah.
yeah, so they look at you. Roseanne walks over, and she just sort of like licks her hand off in a very strange way before she arrives at you. And then she goes, "Oh, that was just part of the ritual. Apologies if it disturbed you."
No, it's actually oddly satisfying.
She nods and she looks at the decanter and she says, "Oh, so you've already fed. That makes this a little easier." As she turns to the older guy.
I'll just hold it up and like, what is it?
The older guy just bluntly says, "That was blood."
Okay, do you want me to roll something to see if I keep holding it or actually just drops it? Drop it?
I'll let you choose, but if you want to roll something, you can roll dexterity.
So 4 or 3?
3.
3. I'll roll the dexterity just to see if I manage to hold on, keep my cool.
2 successes,
Do I?
yeah.
Okay. So I'm still holding on to the bottle, but I'm kind of like looking at it.
Yeah, and it does have the weird, like, your character is familiar with blood because you've made people spill it before.
Yeah, but I've never, like, drank it.
Yeah, that's fair, but the reason why I'm saying that is because you see the consistency within inside the bottle, and it is sticking to the side of it, similar to how congealed blood would act.
Did you see it?
You have a...
I'm back.
Okay, so what I said was, your character is familiar with how congealed blood works, and it is sticking to the side of the bottle in a similar way. So he's not lying. Unless they made a very convincing fake liquid that's supposed to look like blood. But it didn't taste like blood
sure
at all.
He would know. Well, shit, what now? I'll just look to Rosanna for some advice now.
She just looks at you, looks at the other two, looks at you again and goes, "Well, you're taking it fairly well."
Well, still alive, aren't I?
Technically, no.
For some reason.
She goes,
and I'll just, like, look at my wrists.
And she goes, "Technically, you are dead."
I kind of just immediately, like, try to find my pulse.
Yeah, you have none. No matter what you would roll on a medicine, even though you don't have it, you wouldn't be able to find one because you don't have
Everyone took medicine, but you, Prima.
Yeah, because everybody did take medicine. Or why should I, too?
Yeah, that's fair. But, yeah, you check yourself. You even notice that you aren't breathing. The only reason you're able to talk is because you instinctually breathe in before, which is a thing you've never done before. You just instinctually fill your lungs with enough air to exhale the words that you need to say.
Damn.
Otherwise, you don't need to breathe.
That's pretty useful.
Yeah, so vampires can exist entirely underwater. In fact, as they're explaining this to you, what you're currently going through, they say that a few times they've actually found vampires, as they explain to you what vampires are and everything. We'll just skip through that a little bit because you already know. That one of the things that they actually do to torture vampires is they put them in a coffin and surround it in concrete, and then they dump it in the water. So if they manage to escape, like if any water manages to get inside, then they are filled with water and they're still alive, and they're like constantly feeling like they're drowning and that sort of thing. And the concrete prevents them from like opening it entirely, but if they manage to escape, they have been tortured for a long time before they manage to escape.
That sounds extremely bothersome.
They sort of shrug. Well, if you're dead, there's not much you fear. This is one of the few things that some of our kindred fear.
So I'll just go through like the regular commercial stuff like sunlight,
Yeah,
silver,
sunlight is a bad.
mirrors.
Sunlight is a bad. Garlic doesn't matter. You could, in fact, add garlic to your blood if you want to add flavor.
I'll just look at Rosanna. I'm guessing like the mirror stuff is bullshit as well. Think about where I met you.
She nods. Yeah, you saw her reflection in the mirror. She says, though some of our kindred do not show up in mirrors, but our kind is fine.
Okay, so what about the silver?
Silver, as long as it's not in the form of a sword that is piercing you, then it's not inherently dangerous to you. Like,
So
she's saying
I don't
unless
have
if they
to.
make a weapon out of it, which would hurt you just like any other weapon.
Okay, so that means I don't have to change out all my silverware. Is what I'm asking.
She shakes her head. No, you can keep anything that you have that's silver. As long as you're not stabbing yourself with it, you should be fine. He giggles
I just want to
slightly.
say. I just
It
want to
is
say, you cook
harder
yourself
than you
with
think to kill
silver
somebody with a
knife.
butter knife.
She looks at you as you say it's hard to kill someone with a butter knife, and she just has this knowing look.
Harder than you think. Harder
She's-
than you would think. Kill
She
somebody
just
with a
has this
butter knife.
knowing look of, yes, I've killed somebody with a butter knife before.
Yeah. Well,
But-
if I notice this, that she's like, nah, that's not that difficult.
Yeah. She's
And I'm
like, it's pretty easy as long as you know where to hit, is the kind of
Yeah.
look she has.
and I'll just up the ante a little bit and was like, well, if you think that's a little hard, then try spoon.
She goes, a well-placed strike with any implement can be useful. Basically, like if you hit somebody with anything, as long as you hit them with it hard enough, it will do
Anything can
something.
kill you in a way.
Yeah, it's like literally just getting a flashback from when he was torturing somebody to get the money, and he was just like so angry that he just stabbed him with a spoon into his eye.
Isn't
I was
that
like, that's not gonna kill him. Then
wasn't
he
there
just
like an
died
internet video that was based on a monster that had spoons?
Yeah. Spoon kill.
Yeah, spoon
Yeah.
killer used to like 15 years or whatever to kill somebody with small taps with a spoon, and then after years of torture, it finally breaks, and then he opens his coat. There's
And it's
just
like
spoons.
200 more
Right.
spoons.
Yeah.
Oh, I
That
laughed
would
so hard when I
actually be
watched
a
it.
creepy monster idea if you did it
Oh,
right.
fuck!
It's just constantly chasing you, trying to do menial damage to you, but it's doing it so many times.
They basically kept hitting the dude with a spoon 24/7.
Yeah.
For 15 years.
I don't know how many years, but it looked
It
like
was
But
a
a
long
if you
lot.
time.
did a horror series on it well enough, it would be a spooky idea. But anyway,
It's a bit boring, I think. Maybe like one monster constantly torturing one of the players, and
perhaps.
none of the others can see it.
Well, either way, so do you have any other questions about weaknesses, that sort of thing?
Yeah, I'll just ask for the basics.
Okay.
So, anybody want to talk wooden stakes?
She nods and says, "That is a real thing. If a stake is plunged within your heart, you will be stunned and unable to move. Your world will turn black until you are awakened again."
Okay, what if they miss? Like, basically just asking gunshot, like, in the middle of the head. Will I die?
Yeah, like, any amount of damage, as long as there's enough of it, will kill you, but you are more resilient than a normal human. Yes.
Okay.
So, like, if someone shot you in the head with a shotgun...
So the
It
wooden
might
stake is not the only way.
Yeah. Like, if someone hit you in the head with a shotgun, as long as your brains semi-remained within your head, you could still live.
I'll
So,
just
like, you
like
could have
ram.
half your face blown off, and you could still live.
I'll just ramble on a little bit about a movie I saw and why didn't I, instead of using the hammer and the stick, why didn't I just rent a wood chipper? Seems much easier.
She goes, "That's for if you want to stun." And as in, it keeps you in
chipper?
place, but you're still alive.
Okay.
So the stake keeps you alive. The wood chipper would kill you.
Interesting.
Yeah, so if you want to keep the vampire alive for whatever reason, somehow
Yeah, I
it was
see,
discovered that if you stab them through the heart with wood, it keeps them stunned.
I see a future with a walk-in closet with a bunch of goons just hanging there with stakes in their hearts. Oh! I lost a goon. Better go in and get a new one.
That is a
Whoopsie
possible thing
doodle.
you can do, but...
Oh, I'm
If you
definitely gonna have that.
Normally, if you stab someone with a stake and they're a vampire, they don't like that. So when they
Oh.
wake up, they might not like you. That's all. So, any other questions? She does say that, unlike other vampires, when they bite somebody to feed, it causes them bliss. Whereas the type of vampires that you are, for some reason, it causes the victim pain rather than bliss. So it's harder to feed off of people, because the more you feed, the more pain that is exerted upon the subject, which can just cause them to have, like, die of shock, sort of thing.
Awesome.
Whereas other vampires, they have to feed and drain them entirely in order to kill them. As long as they have still a sufficient amount of blood left in their system to survive the bite, that is. Like, if they have too low of a blood supply, they'll just die anyway. But it also depends on which creature you're feeding off of, too. Depends on how much blood they have and everything. So they go into that. So yeah, after they get into most of the ordinary stuff, the older gentleman motions to the books in this room, and he says, This library is not just for show. These books are containing secrets that our clan has discovered over the years. You may peruse them as you wish.
That's where I discovered my necromancy, I guess.
It is. So, over the intervening years, we'll skip around a little bit.
By the way, as these years are going, I will constantly try and flirt with Rosanna.
Okay. She. What's your appearance? 2? She's had worse, so.
Yeah, she's had a hot dog, apparently.
Yes. So, your appearance is 2, but you're kind of gruff around the edges. So
He's okay looking.
Yeah, so you're okay looking. She doesn't stick around for too much enticing conversation afterward, but she has been your lover for a while. We'll say.
What appearance does she have, by the way?
She has natural 20. No, she has the equivalency of, and Olaf can look this up so that way you can tell us exactly what this means. She has
on my way.
She has like a 4 or 5, somewhere around there.
So Scarlett Johansson.
Appearance.
I think. Is that the actress I'm thinking about?
No, it's here. At the 5, she's outstanding. People will never forget you.
Yeah, you wouldn't forget this woman, so that would work.
Out of 4, let me buy you a drink. No, that's 3. At 4 is people go out of their way to make your acquaintance. Sorry, she's a 5.
So
Yeah.
What is a 2?
You don't stand out in the crowd for better or for worse.
Okay, so you're plain, but you're not ugly.
You know what? Geo is beyond poor.
Yeah, Geo is a he's a Nosferatu, and
Yeah, the gremlin. He said. Olaf sent me a picture.
Yeah.
Fucking gremlins.
But yeah, Nosferatu, their weakness, whereas your weakness is if you bite people, it causes pain instead of bliss. Their weakness is their appearance is equivalent to 0, which I don't know if that's even on the list.
AKA, I'm just ugly as fucking monster.
Yeah.
So I can't go out to public. Well, you guys have,
In fact,
problems with drinking blood.
He's so ugly that it's noticeable, and if a human sees him without realizing what he is or being explained, they just think he's like a supernatural freak and will run away in fear.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of handy, actually.
I know.
Well, to a certain point.
But again, unless they know what he is.
Mm.
So, people who hunt vampires will know what he is, and they'll be like, he needs to be killed, that sort of thing. So, it depends on which human you're interacting with, whether or not they have enough courage. But a lot of people will just run away in fear. Though, that is a bad thing, because if that person runs away in fear and goes and tells everybody that they saw this creature...
And nobody believes him, because he's just a maniac on YouTube.
Perhaps.
Ta-da!
Perhaps. That is one of the ways that they dismiss people like that. But, it doesn't always happen that way.
I just have to scare that one important person in the whole damn world. Just that one important person that everybody believes.
Especially because it's in the 2000s, so, especially later when the campaign starts, people have smartphones, so they can take, video and stuff. So,
So yeah, I have to take the smartphone away, break that shit before I can actually, let them go.
unless
So what kind of happens if we do walk out in the sunlight, by the way? Does it just really hurt?
Burn.
We burn up?
Burn.
Yeah.
Like, literally we turn into a pile of ash?
It's the equivalency of, having your hand in a furnace.
Or acid bath.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's pretty neat.
So, there are certain types of vampires that have more resistance to sunlight, but you're not one of those. Unfortunately, your kind is just the only kind that currently exists in this time frame that has studied necromancy. That's the big one that you have.
Ooh.
So, we're going to skip around a little bit. So you look in his library that he has in this mansion. And yes, there are dark art rituals, which you've seen books like this in bookstores and just thought that they were pretentious. And perhaps those ones were, but these ones actually work. They allow you to do the first ability, the second ability, and the third ability because you spent all your time studying this. So you have the third ability of your path, which the first one we discussed is actually useful even though it doesn't seem that way at first glance. Like, you can make a body move slightly. That's the first ability. I forget what the second ability is. But the third ability allows you to raise the dead. Raise a corpse to help you.
I thought literally the first one to just make them twitch and scream. Second one, I think it was that they came back to life, but for a very short while.
Perhaps, I don't remember.
Yes.
Well,
don't
that's a
remember.
good distinction.
Yeah, the first one even just having 1 point in necromancy is a good one. Because, like I said,
Oh yeah.
there.
Also,
Oh, okay, go ahead.
yeah. Go on.
No, you go ahead.
Oh, yeah. Go. Also, nobody starts with dark vision, so to say. Nobody starts with that.
No.
You actually need to go into a certain discipline to have dark vision.
I think there might be one type of vampire that starts with that discipline, but
Yeah.
no, I mean more than one, but for sure. But I think you only need like 1 point in it or something.
Yeah,
Maybe
1
two.
point in it.
Yeah.
And then you can, have dark vision for free, let's say.
Wow.
But yeah, vampires have heightened senses, but they don't have like see in pitch black senses.
Not all have heightened senses. His
Yeah.
race does not.
Yeah, a few of them don't. But either way, so yeah, you study these books. They have like complicated. It's like Necronomicon-esque rituals in these books, like just things that would manipulate souls, things of that nature. But you decided to go down the path. Like, there's even stuff that if you encounter a ghost, you can like control it or get rid of it.
In 2 points of necromancy, it can make a body do simple actions.
Oh yeah, so you can order them. You can order them to do things.
Yeah, so the
Third point was literally an undead thrall, right?
Yeah.
The second was just you can raise a dead and they will, do simple stuff.
But you need to spend willpower in order to try to raise the dead. So
Yeah,
it
I
is
remember.
those other powers are still going to be useful to you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't have any points in them, so I can't use them.
Yeah, no, what I'm saying is those necromantic powers, the other two necromantic powers. You can still use the lesser powers, because the heightened powers use your willpower, whereas the lower powers don't. But either way, so you study that for a while. You even practice it on some of the people that you assassinate, basically. And you get pretty good at it. You have 3 occult, so yeah, you're pretty good at it. Because occult is the thing that you need to roll with all your checks for that. So, yep, that's a thing. Okay, I was just checking something. Okay. Yep, so you get that. I'm gonna make sure that I don't miss anything like I did with Olav's. Any of your background stuff or anything.
My remind you, I do have to leave pretty soon.
Okay, yeah, it's pretty much done. There's just the ending bit that we need to go through, but I just want to make sure that I don't miss anything. Okay, you don't have anything out there. Or there.
So if somebody kills Rosanna, do I die too?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, each
So what
vampire is
does
their
the-
own entity.
So the sire thing literally does nothing.
You made your vampire, and
the only
you have
thing
a
that
connection.
the only thing that it really does is that in vampire society, your sire is supposed to teach you the ropes.
So you're dating your teacher again.
Well, not dating, but screwing around. I mean, I guess we do live forever, so having a mate for life doesn't really seem adequate. Is that a word?
It is a word you can use.
Well, you know, because of the way that she acts with you, you know that she isn't in it for the personality, because you don't have a great one. Like you don't have empathy, even. Like your conscience is super low, so you don't really care about her feelings anyway. But
My guy's perfect for getting a girl.
yeah, but
Well, I have pretty damn high dexterity, so I guess I'm pretty damn good in bed.
yeah, so she's not.
I'm not
in
a
it-
limp hot dog.
Yeah, she's not in it for the the emotional ties or anything. She just knows that the parts work and it's fun, so why not?
Interesting.
I
Fine.
mean, you have to hang around where she's living anyway because she's teaching you things, so why not? Is the kind of attitude. And
Seems
your
fair.
character doesn't really care about that. So, yeah. The biggest other thing that you need to do is determine what type of place that you want to rule over. Because you have the biggest domain possible.
And you have those 3 free points. You can spend them on resources if you want to have a lot of money. So you get a background in the 3 points in resource. You will be as rich as Geo.
No, I'll just save him. What? Can I be super rich?
You can be pretty rich. If you
Above
spend
average rich.
if you spend those 3 point getting resource in background.
Like you own like a plot of land and stuff. Like you own a bunch of stuff. It would
Yeah,
be
sure.
It would be useful to have.
I'll smack them points into that.
Okay.
So add a background resources and add 3 points to it.
Where's background resources?
Yeah, so you
Just-
own
Oh,
a
yeah.
decently expensive building, basically. You know what? I'll give you that you own like a hotel. Since your domain is so big.
I only have to use 1 point for each, right? So I can
Yep.
just put 3 points.
Yep.
Yep.
There we go.
And if you put 3 points in, then you own a hotel. And since you
Resources.
since you
he's
have a
comfortable.
district, yeah. So you own the hotel building itself. And if you need
Awesome.
money, you can just like go to the hotel and say, "I need to get my cut," and they'll give you some money.
Well,
Yeah, you're
why
not
not
rich
save a bit of
before
money?
4 points.
I'm gonna be living in the top suite, I guess.
That's fine. It's a skyscraper hotel too. It's not like
Yeah.
a 3 or 4 floor hotel. This is like a 60 floor hotel.
Damn.
And you don't own it specifically. It's still technically owned by the family of Giovanni. But like I said, you can go in there and ask for your cut at any time, and they'll give you money. So it's not like I'm cheating you out of money because you don't own the
Awesome.
building. You can still get the money that you're owed due to your background.
So I'll guess my hotel will be like at the epicenter of my domain, and it's gonna be like a very busy, bustling city.
It's at the slight north of the city, of the block that you own. Slightly north. Like, it's in the center, but it's slightly north.
That's fine.
Okay. And it looks over your particular suite has a large window that you have a button that can like shutter it during the day, so that way no light comes in.
Panorama.
But yeah, you can see the entire south side of your domain from your window. So, yeah, the only other thing that I was going to get you to determine is, like, what kind of area is it? It can be, like, a financial district. It can be a little Italy, like the book says. It can be anything. So what do you want? Because it's technically, like, a district of a city.
Well, it does have a huge fucking hotel on it, so... City center, maybe? Kinda. Ish.
Okay, so, like...
City center-esque.
So
like
you
office
want
buildings, bars, pubs, everything, like...
A bit of everything.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'll give you
like
a choice
regular
here.
city center.
I'll give you a choice here. You can have a famous theater, or you can have a stadium in your district. So what do you want? Which of those two? The theater is like a Broadway-esque theater, so they not only show movies, but they have like live plays all the time. And it's like, draws a lot of people.
Or
but if you want the stadium,
arena.
then the stadium has stadium events.
I'll go with theater. I'm not big on sports.
Okay, that's fine. You could have like concerts and stuff at your stadium, but that's fine. The theater is fine. It works. So you have a famous it's themed to be like you're going to Italy. So even the premises of the theater is like, it's got all these like stone textiles and things of that nature. Like you're going to an Italian dinner theater, perhaps. And they do serve meals there. They serve alcohol there. They serve all kinds of, like, pretty much anything you would want. They even have, like, escorts and things there that you can take to watch a movie with you if you want. Or a play. It's a super rich and ritzy place.
Me lucky.
Although the brothel that's attached to the theater, technically they can go other places, but they do tend to center around the theater premises itself. So, yeah, you're basically like the head of this district. It's because you just showed your loyalty. Like, you didn't even flinch when they told you were a vampire. You didn't even flinch when they slit your wrists. All these things were signs that...
Those 5 curse do to you, man.
All those things were signs that they hit the jackpot with somebody who's going to be loyal to the family.
Well, I do have a maxed out courage, so I don't see why I would be scared.
Yeah, that's fair. So, they give you... you run this place. You run this district. You get to say what goes. Like, if people enter, like if a vampire enters, they have to come to you and ask you if they're allowed to enter and what the rules are, all that jazz. So
I want it to be like, so the whole fucking top floor of the skyscraper is mine.
yeah, you own the
Whole
entire
top
thing.
floor is mine. Oh
Like,
yeah. Yeah,
it's
but
a-
the whole top floor is like my suite.
Yeah, there's like a little lobby area where there's like a receptionist, and then there's the door to your suite. That's all the floor is. So you even have like a little receptionist with a couple security guards to make sure that nobody enters that's not supposed to. Although you don't, they aren't 100% loyal. They're just loyal to their paycheck. So you may want to look into that later. But like they're not ghouls or anything, which means they're not drinking your blood or anything.
Okay.
Yeah, they're just people you've paid to stand guard. So they're human. But either
Oh,
way,
it's definitely gonna be a female receptionist, and I'm definitely gonna be fucking her. So yeah.
yeah, and
There's that.
Rosanna actually encourages it. Like, for you to, like,
Screw around.
yeah, just to take whoever you want.
The easy gist of vampires, they are fucking charming motherfuckers that fucks everything.
Well, not all of them.
Fucking machines.
Unless you're Nosferatu.
Not all of them.
Then nobody want to fuck you.
Yeah, but it depends on
I
how
don't
much
even know
appearance you have.
Nosferatu.
It depends on
Or
how
maybe
much
a female
appearance you have,
Nosferatu, right?
But since
Maybe a
since you
female
have
Nosferatu.
since Luigi has influence, then he just uses that instead of appearance.
And money.
Yeah, exactly.
And things.
Yeah. So you use that instead of your appearance or your.
He's okay looking, but he got a lot of money, so everyone.
I want it to be a small, cute little redhead, and her name shall be Rachel.
Fair enough. I don't have any affinity to that particular NPC, so it's done. So you can add that to your list of NPCs if you want.
Let's see now, NPCs. Rachel?
Okay, so
There's also a mafia boss, so yeah, it's fair that he goes around fucking women.
yeah, I mean he can like bribe them and things of that nature. Like say, "Oh, you get to stay in my hotel if you fuck me."
Yeah. Yeah, I've literally just put down Rachel, assistant / fuck doll.
Yeah.
If I get bored.
Yeah.
I have another word for that, but I wouldn't fit.
What? For
Cum
fuck doll or being bored? Huh?
Cum bucket.
Oh, cum bucket.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Anyway, so you're
Oh, she's
there
pretty.
you're there for about you climb the ladder for about 5 years, and then you have 5 years where you're just this dude who owns the place. This particular slice of heaven, if you will.
My little slice of heaven.
Yep. So, we'll skip to 10 years after you were turned into a vampire. 10 years of being a vampire. You're staring out.
How many STDs have it?
You're staring out your window, your large window over your domain. When suddenly, Rachel just sort of, she has a keycard to your room because you trusted her.
Of course.
Well, she would have a pager as well, like, Mr. Luigi, someone's here to see you. Especially if I'm not in my office.
Yeah, but she bursts into your the window isn't at the front, like where the entrance is to your thing. It's at the back compared to where you enter from the window. But you hear like the door like slam open, like somebody just pushed it as hard as they could open.
Rachel, what did I tell about knocking?
She comes into.
I won't even look at her. I'm just gonna keep staring out the window and just.
Yeah, she comes into the room where you're standing, and she says, "Sir, you have a call. But your cell phone was turned off."
Who is it then?
It's Bruno, which is the old guy who invited you to the mansion all those years ago. You haven't really
Okay.
seen much of him since then, but you knew who he was. Like, you asked around. His name is Bruno. He's pretty high up.
What the fuck?
Fix your typos.
I'm fixing my typos.
I'm getting triggered by them. I know you have a reason.
Well, stop looking at my cheat.
No. I got the power.
Yeah.
Okay, so she says
Is
it's
she-
Bruno.
Does she
said
have
if
the phone with her, or?
Yeah, no, you have your cell phone with you. She says, if you turned it on, I might have been able to forward the call to you, but it wouldn't work, so I figured it was off.
So I'm kind of just still not looking at her, just still glancing over my domain. Ah, it's good to have land. And
Please.
I guess I'm just like having my phone in my pocket. Is it out of power?
No. It appears that you didn't want to be disturbed at some point, and you turned it off and forgot to turn it back on. That's all.
It's my quiet time.
Yeah.
Fine, very well. I'll just turn it on.
Alright, she runs back out of the room and transfers the call to your cell phone. And you hear Bruno on the other end.
I'm back.
I'll just, as soon as the call is forwarded to me, I'm just gonna be like, yes.
He goes, son, it's been a while. He calls you son just because he appears to be a lot older than you.
He's the godfather.
Yeah. So he goes, I have a problem. And you hear on the other side of the phone.
I hope to God that's me doing it.
No.
Oh. No, I'm not using guns anyways.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing like I know about the hunters and I know about the different clans. So I'm gonna
you
be
know
just.
that there are hunters, and you know that there are different clans. Yes.
So I'm just gonna be like completely calm, no changing my voice.
Mhm.
Hunters are clan.
He goes, I know you're not going to believe me, but they appear to be the Second Inquisition.
Oh shit.
Second, what?
The Second Inquisition. So in the lore of this world, the First Inquisition was justified because there were lots of monsters. In the First Inquisition, that's where when the Masquerade was invented, to try to hide vampires' existence from humans. And it's worked. However, it appears that he's bringing up a legend that in the modern day there were people calling themselves the Second Inquisition.
Which is hunters.
Yeah.
Okay.
Although the legends of the Second Inquisition seem to be Illuminati in scale. Like, government-backed organizations are part of it.
Illuminati team start playing.
Yeah. Yeah. But, yeah, that's what he says. He says he thinks it's the Second Inquisition.
Oh, dearie me. Guess I'll be on my way then. I'll just hang up.
He says, as you're about to hang up, he goes, wait, I heard a rumor that they're heading towards your hotel.
Not fucking happening.
Alright, and he goes, just thought I'd warn you, I'm using the wrong voice. But, this place seems to be fucked. We're going to
That's
have
how
to
to say it, man. It just fucked.
We're going to have to evacuate this area. So, just be careful. And he hangs up.
I'm guessing I have guys.
Yeah,
I'm not
you have
all on my own.
in your domain. You do have people who are making sure that like vampires are coming to see you and that sort of thing. Like if somebody they don't know enters, they try to make sure if they're human or not. If they're human, they just leave them alone. However, if they're vampires, they make sure that they come to see you. So there are people looking out. All you need to do is contact them.
Okay. So I guess I'll be heading to my gun locker, which I of course have, while I'm calling for assistance, basically.
Yeah.
So which will
in this particular
I'll
with the aesthetic of the hotel, you have like this hardwood. It looks like a closet, and you just sort of open it, and it looks like a closet, and then you open the inside part with the secret latch, and then your gun cabinet's behind there.
like a walk-in gun cabinet.
Yeah.
With a bunch of guns.
Yeah. Yeah.
And torture equipment and my study, basically.
Yeah.
Just like 50 LMGs on the
and
side.
like in the middle of the room, there's just like a metal chair with braces on it.
Yeah, the room on the blueprint when you were getting this room organized is just disguised as an electrical room.
The fun part about the chair is that it has no bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
If you've watched one of the Daniel Craig 007 movies, you know how those are used.
Yep. Among other things. So I will have it like set up that when I call this particular number, I literally just have to say hunters or the clan and my position, and like everything will be done for me, so I don't have to do anything more.
Okay.
Okay, so you're a lazy piece of shit.
Well, he just has a code set up. That's fair.
A lazy piece of shit is it. I have a lot to do. I have a whole city to run.
Fair.
I don't have time to make 700 calls to get
He
back.
literally has a receptionist.
That too.
Yeah.
So
Don't forget.
Fox.
Which I fucks
Don't forget.
on a regular basis.
He also
What do
needs
you?
to have time to snort cocaine. Don't forget.
He also has time for that. And have money for that as well.
Yeah,
The
shit
most
ton.
important part.
yeah, he just walks down to the bottom of the hotel and asks for his money, and then he goes to the seedy part of town and comes back.
No, I get it delivered to me.
Fair enough. So a seedy man just comes into the hotel and rents a room, and then the hotel staff says it's already paid for, and you just meet up in the room.
So I'll call the number, and I'll just say hunters and bring everyone. Like, this is serious. Like, hunters, bring everyone. The hotel. And I'll hang up, and I'll just grab, I'll guess a few Desert Eagles would suffice. Double Desert Eagles, if that's a thing.
You're in 2012, so yeah.
Hmm?
At this point, you're in 2012, so yeah.
Okay.
That probably is the thing.
Yeah.
So I'll just
Desert
fill
Eagles
up.
have been a thing since the 90s. Maybe even
So I
before.
guess I'll
I'm
have
pretty
like
sure they were made for Operation Desert Storm, maybe? I might be wrong about that.
I'm not sure why they were made. They're just overly huge
Yeah.
hand cannons.
Yes, they are.
But they're actually just as easy to shoot as a 9mm, almost.
Yeah, they don't have
Which
this.
is amazing.
Yeah, they
by the
don't
way.
have too much recoil.
Yeah, the bullet is bigger than my thumb.
Yeah.
It's big. So I'll just like get on like a holster underneath my jacket, and I'll fill the Desert Eagles, like a few bolt rounds in my pockets. Then I'll button up my thingamabob, and I'll just walk out to the reception and just tell, what was her name again? Rachel.
Yeah, that's how important she is to you. You have to look up her name.
Yes, Eagles started manufacturing in 1979.
Yep.
Well, they're designed. And
I
been
think
made
Operation
since the 90s.
Desert Storm was in the 70s. Or 80s.
Probably.
But anyway.
So I'll just like walk over to her and I guess you get the rest of the day off, my love.
She says, I'll forward all my calls to my personal cell and I'll leave. However, before you go, and she points at the other end of this, like, small lobby section of the floor, and you see that somebody's sitting in a chair. It's one of your contacts. Apparently, he's one of your scouts.
My
Scouts. Like, the
Scout.
people who
Okay.
make sure that the vampires report to you and that sort of thing. He's like a gangbanger looking dude. He's a ghoul.
Okay.
He's got like the do-rag and everything. He's just one of the dudes who is a ghoul to one of your other one of the other people who's a vampire in this city.
Oh, you don't have to worry your pretty little head on that. Just go home and do whatever you want.
Yeah, she just immediately leaves and goes to the second elevator, not the first elevator, and goes down.
Of course I have a private elevator. I mean, of course.
Yeah, so she doesn't go to your private elevator as to not waste your time. She knows how important this is, apparently. That an emergency is happening. She knows that Bruno called, and he's important, and that he said that it was an emergency. That's all that she would know.
Awesome.
Okay, so there's the scout guy that's there, or you can just leave if you just don't want to talk to the scout guy.
No, I'm just like... So, what news from the mark?
He goes, Yo, man, we saw some weird black vans heading around our section of town.
That's odd.
They got these white
Pedophiles usually choose white vans.
They got these white crosses painted on the side. Heavily armed gentlemen exit them and have been talking to some of our people.
Couldn't they have invaded?
Took me a little while to get up here. Otherwise, I would have told you sooner.
Oh. No worries, good job.
He nods to you, and then the elevator still hasn't gotten to the receptionist, so then he just walks over next to the receptionist and is going to go in the elevator when it gets there.
I'm guessing he knows not to fucking touch her.
Yeah, he knows not to touch any people in the hotel while you're in the hotel. Unless if he brought them there with their consent. That's the rule for everybody. Unless if they brought someone there with their consent, they're not to touch anybody in the hotel.
Not that. She's my fucking property. She's mine.
That's true, but that's the rule that you had set up. She just so happens to apply. It just so happens to apply to her in this situation.
That's accurate for a conscienceless bastard.
The only reason you even put the consent rule on is because they started kidnapping people that you didn't want kidnapped. So, you call your private elevator, you go down to the ground floor, you exit the elevator, you start walking towards the front of the hotel. You notice that nobody's on the ground floor. Not even the receptionist. They didn't get in the elevator before you. They got in the elevator a little bit after you. So they must be behind you somewhere. But you look back, you don't see them either.
Is the elevator still moving, or...?
You walk back towards where the elevator was. And it says that it went to the basement floor and stopped.
Do I have a basement garage?
You have a basement floor, it's BF1. No, it's BF2, which is the maintenance area. BF1 is your underground parking lot. BF2 is your maintenance area. Like, where you keep your hidden power supply in case, like, a blackout happens. That sort of thing.
That's weird. I thought she was going home.
As you're pondering this, you glance towards the front entrance again. It's like a glass front face. So you can see through it. I'll get you to roll an alertness.
Which is 3 or 4?
4.
Because you're adding your perception. It's sort of like
Where's
how in
my-
Shadowrun you add the
Where's
main stat.
my... okay, yeah, there's my perception. Okay. 4. That's 3 successes.
You look out the front door. You can see that parked by the street, nearest the hotel front, is a black van with a white cross on it.
Would I know how much time has passed and how long it usually takes for my backup to arrive?
It's been about 5-10 minutes, and your backup, depending on what they were engaged with previously, it could be, if they drove straight there, like if they were doing nothing and drove straight there, like if they weren't fighting somebody and drove straight there, take about 10 minutes.
Okay. So they're right around the corner, hopefully.
And you didn't wait for them to respond, which is
Yeah, but
your character's way. But maybe if they had a chance to respond, they would say if there was any delays. But they didn't. You didn't give them a chance. So
they should know the gravity of the situation by me adding actually 2 words instead of 1.
they do.
So
They
is
know,
the black
but-
man just standing there, or is it doing anything?
Oh, it's just parked outside the front of the hotel.
Oh well, I guess I'll just stand there, waiting.
All right. You see that the elevator that the other two called, it stopped at the basement floor for about 2 or 3 minutes. Then it started moving back up to the main floor.
I walk a bit back, and I kind of hide myself from, like, out of gun range from the car, and pull out my eagles and wait for the elevator. Damn it,
Okay.
I should have brought some grenades.
It's true.
Oh well,
The elevator reaches the ground floor. Ding!
I cocked the hammers of the Desert Eagles. Ready actioning if that's a thing.
It is, actually.
And I'm ready actioning.
Okay. As soon as the door opens, like a crack, you look inside and you can see that there are, like, 5 or 6 people in the elevator, all of which have Kevlar on. As soon as the door opens a crack.
I immediately start peppering bullets.
Alright?
Wait a minute. Do they have like any signs on them, so I just shoot up my own crew?
They do. The only thing that you see is that they have these weird spherical helmets that have a cross painted on the front of them.
Okay, so I do know that these are not my guys. So
Yeah.
in that case, I will be starting peppering bullets.
Alright?
And depending on what Kevlar they use, if it's regular battle armor, that's completely useless towards a Desert Eagle.
They got a sick ton of fire.
Yup.
But they also have metal plating underneath their Kevlar. So, you shoot at them. Just to make this easier, I'm not going to get you to roll and then them roll and then you roll and then them roll.
I
Just
try to
because-
aim for like weak points like the necks, and
Mhm.
I mean I have a 3 in firearms, so I'm not super good, but I'm over average.
So you shoot at them,
Geo's entertain him.
and they wait for a moment. They sort of like dart around the sides, and the elevators, you've made them this way on purpose, but it's also to your disadvantage. You made the elevators in such a way that you can like dart to the sides, so that way you have some cover. So that's what they do. However, one dude gets caught in your fire. He does resist the first couple bullets, but you peppered him and hit his weird spherical helmet, and it just pierced through and it shatters like glass, his helmet. And he just falls down to the ground, motionless. His head has been pierced.
As soon as he does that, I'm just gonna shout out like, awfully sorry about that, but we're closed. If you have any complaints, we have a box. You can put complaints in the complaint box.
You hear one of them wittily yell back, "Those boxes never get checked." And you hear some machine gun fire, but you're behind enough cover so that way that particular machine gun fire doesn't hit you.
Well, I won't lie to you, mate. You're completely right. I'll fire back.
Alright, you hit another dude. The glass on his helmet shatters, and he falls back onto the floor. But there's still probably like 5 or 6 more guys in there. Seems like they were ready. You also hear the van outside tires screeching, and then you hear as they go through the glass doors. Are you fucking kidding me?
That's why you don't own a freaking hotel. They just gonna ram it.
You had fancy glass doors in the front, so that way people can see that it's a light place, even though you don't go there when it's light out.
Do you bloody wankers know how much that costs?
You hear one of them yell, "Approximately," from in the elevator.
I'll start like John Wicking the fucking thing, like one gun aimed at the elevator and one at the fucking van. I try to hit the gas tank on the van, by the way. Oh no, that's probably not smart. They're inside. Wouldn't want to burn down my damn hotel. Do I have sprinklers?
But at least it seems like they were courteous enough to get any civilians out of the way. Because there's no receptionist down here, there's no employees, there's no, like, random hotel visitors. There's nobody.
Look how much I count.
Yeah, I know you
but,
don't care.
More importantly,
they
do I have sprinklers? Do I have sprinklers?
Yes, of course you do. It's
okay.
By the way, some vampires are weak to water, yours are not.
Okay, thank God. In that case, I will aim for the gasoline tank on the van.
Alright, you start aiming towards the gasoline tank, and you pepper it with bullets. The guys are just taking cover in the elevator. Seems like they have some sort of strategic planning to how they are approaching this situation. The guys in the van pull up. The van actually pulls up really close to where the elevators are, even though there's like a staircase in front of it. They like drive up up the stairs and pull right next to you. And there's a sliding door which opens on the side of the van, and there's a turret inside the van.
So,
like
can
a
I shoot the guy
minigun-esque turret.
Is it a guy
No.
like standing behind it, or
There's
is it
no guy.
Fuck.
You hear
So I
coming
guess,
from the van, like with a loudspeaker almost. "Give up, and we won't shoot."
Guess I'll have to call security for this one, and I take a few shots at the gas tank again.
Okay, the van does start to light on fire. Like, as if you hit something vital to the
Awesome.
van. It doesn't seem like they armor-plated their vans as much as they did their people.
Their one weakness.
However, the engine is on fire, and you hear, "Last warning!"
The engine is on fire. I didn't hit the gas tank.
Like, you see flames coming up from the engine. But you did hit the gas tank as well, yes. It's gonna blow up probably. Like when they were driving straight towards you, you were aiming at the front of it, so it might have hit something vital. Then you're not sure.
So I'm guessing like on the auto turret, there's like a camera on it, since somebody else is.
Yeah, there is like a little optical sensor thing that you can see on the side of it, and you see that the turret is starting to whir as if it's starting up.
Try to hit the optical sensor.
All right, I'll get you to roll for that one. Roll firearms based on dexterity. So
Which
3
means
plus 3.
3 from. So 6. Have a pretty damn good chance, though. That's 3 successes with a critical.
All right. Yeah, you hit the optical sensor, and it just sort of goes, and it's still whirring, but they probably can't see where they're aiming.
That was my thingamabob I wanted to do.
Okay. You hear it whirring, and you hear, "Fine, we'll have to deal with you the hard way." And you hear, however, the optical sensor is broken, so it's just firing wildly into the particular hallway that you are standing in. However, you're behind a wall, so it's like breaking the marble facade of your wall and hitting into the structural foundation of the wall that you're hiding behind. However, since you broke the gas tank, I'm going to get you to roll a dexterity. Just straight dexterity.
Right deck.
Yep, 3.
That's
Holy
3 successes.
shit. Okay. Okay then. This is going to continue longer. Okay. So, the van heats up, and you can tell that there were people in the van who have exited the opposite side of the van and are running away. And the van, just a large explosion happens, and a piece of metal just goes flying towards you and almost curves around the wall as it's like flipping and turning, but you manage to like duck underneath it before it slams into you. So the van's done with, and the turret is like, it's on fire, so it's done. However, the dudes inside the elevator say, "We only have more men coming."
Do you really think that you are the only one that has that?
Yeah, and you can hear some gunfire happening outside the building. Like, as if some vampires and your dudes are fighting their dudes.
My, there's the cavalry now.
However, it seems like there's a sizable force outside, so your guys aren't coming in. Your guys aren't coming in, but they're preventing other guys from their team from coming in. But you still have like 5 or 6 guys in the elevator.
So I'll just reload. And what did Bruno call them again? The second whatever?
Second Inquisition.
So hey, you guys are supposed to be the second Inquisition.
I'm British. I don't
true?
understand this shit.
As you ask them
true?
that, you notice that they stop like firing back at you, and everything just stops for a moment. Like everything.
Did I hurt him that bad?
You're not sure what happened.
By the way, for my necromancy to work, do I have to touch a body, or can I just snap my fingers and it will happen?
It doesn't specify. You can just do it.
Yeah, you can just do it.
Awesome.
You can just use a willpower and do it.
Well, in that case, I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna target the dead bodies inside of the elevator.
All right.
In silence.
So what's the roll?
Yeah, I do a thing for it.
Oh, he added a thing for it. So you have a thing.
I
on
did?
it.
Yeah, it's on your manual.
I think it's literally necromancy and occult.
Yeah, it has like DC.
No, wits and occult.
Yes.
Yeah, wits and occult. That's it.
It's like a DC
So
7.
I guess I'll just hit the roll button and see what happens.
You got one success.
Which means one of the bodies.
One zombie.
Yep. One of the dudes gets up in the elevator.
And if I can use like the lower one to without using willpower, like the first one that just makes them scream.
Mm-hmm. You can.
Can I use the second one without willpower as well to make them do small commands, or did that cost willpower?
What's the second ability called?
Literally to just make them do easy commands.
So, Olaf, what does that do? What does he need to roll for that?
And I'm really stressing this now. It's 10 above 12 here, and I have work.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
You're
morning
rolling well and making this harder.
I have work in 6 hours and 20 minutes.
I'm free tomorrow.
Shut up.
Okay.
Let me see if I'm on the path.
Should be path of bone.
Bone path. The second ability.
Yep.
Doesn't generate takes. Roll a wits plus occult. Difficulty 7.
Yeah, but does it cost willpower?
It would say right there.
A blood point. And a willpower.
A blood point and a willpower? Did that mean that I needed to use a blood point for making a thrall as well?
No, then you only spend willpower. Second is blood. Second is blood and will. Third is only will.
Oh, that's weird.
So if there's 6 blood point thing, you can just remove one of them and one more willpower.
Okay, and the first one costs nothing?
The first one cost.
Yeah, the first
One
one just to make
One
it
blood.
scream costs nothing. I don't think.
Because of blood point.
Okay. So I'll use 1 blood point, and it was the same roll, right?
Occult plus wits.
Target the second body inside the elevator and literally just make it...
The first is Dex plus occult.
Oh, it's Dex plus occult.
Completely first ability. That's Dex plus occult.
Okay.
Yeah, so this particular one is Dex plus occult.
Which means that there is 6, and the difficulty was 7, you said?
On the first it's 6, on the second it's 7, on the third it's 8.
6 in that case. Wow, 3 successes. So I'll literally just make the last body inside the elevator to jump up and start screaming, "It burns! It burns!" While it's like just rambling around.
Okay.
Causing chaos.
And the more successes you get determines how long it does it. So it does it for multiple turns based on your successes.
Awesome.
So, and since you got a critical, I will give you another success, so it's going to do it for 4 turns.
Awesome.
So it just springs to life, starts dancing around. It burns! And it sounds more like a Deadite from Evil Dead.
The first one obviously has commands to start killing anything that's alive inside the elevator.
Alright. It walks forward, tries to grab the first guy that it sees. And it starts pulling him around. Yeah, it just seems like they were hiding. Waiting for you to do something, and you did. So, then the rest of the other guys that aren't being attacked by the zombie, they pour out of the elevator, and they just aim their submachine guns
So,
at you and start firing.
As they're doing that, I'll start shooting back.
Okay. To make this end a little quicker, they start pelting you with bullets. You do get down another 2 or 3 of them. 3. We'll go with 3. So 2 of them still remain, but you're like riddled with bullets at that point. Because they went behind your cover and just started point blank shooting you with submachine guns. But they did lose a few guys in the process of doing that. So they took the risk, but they lost a few guys. So you're like riddled with bullets, laying on the floor, heavily injured. And as you're contemplating whether or not you should use your abilities to heal yourself, one of them just walks forward, grabs the back of your head, pulls you up into like a standing position, and you see that he's pulled out a wooden implement from his belt, and he just stabs you right in the heart. You begin to fade into darkness.
Assholes.
A pitch black darkness. And that is where that is where we'll end off. And let me just say, the only other person who killed somebody was Gio's character, and he only killed one. One of them. So you did pretty good.
I'll mindfuck someone.
Yeah, you mind controlled somebody to try to get them to order to stand down, but then it seems like they knew about vampires controlling people, and they were like, the guy that was closer to you was just like, yeah, ignore that order, bang, you're done.
Still mindfuck them.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
You did.
What I did was mostly evade all of them, like, use the shadows to my advantage.
Yeah, and then what he did was, as a last-ditch effort, as he was being impaled with wood, he just activated his potence and then used all his blood points that he had left to activate his ability to, like, just kill the guy instantly.
Yeah. No, seriously, I can just say, okay, it cost me 0 blood points, but if I put blood points in it, that means successes. So if I, for example, put
so
10
he doesn't
points
have
in
to roll
it,
the dice
I have 10
at all.
successes.
Yeah, he doesn't have to roll the dice if he uses blood points.
So right before I fade into black, I'll just like, I hope you cunts have insurance.
And one of them actually grabs you by the back of the head as you're fading away, and he goes, "Don't worry, I have premium." And you fade to black.
What say?
He said, "Don't worry, I have premium."
My soul can rest easy now.
Well, that isn't super plat like in Shadowrun. Perhaps it's just platinum.
Well,
God damn it, my hotel!
Everybody else has been staked so far, so don't feel bad. It seems like this is going to be where we start. Is whatever happened to you...
I was guessing something like that would happen.
Whatever happened. So,
yeah.
we're going to cut this...
I was okay with
For some weird reason, we're going to wake